but that's something that we want to emphasize.
A pretty even split between Kareem and Pacheco. Is there any thought to maybe giving one guy a little bit more than the other, or you just want to stay?
I don't think necessarily. The running back position, guys can get hot when they have certain carries. You can start to feel that. Some games are different for other guys, but we don't have anything in particular where we're like, we got to get, one or the other more carries. But it's probably, like a shooter. When you're hot, you're on fire. You keep getting more carries, and vice versa.
Yeah, sometimes you get an older player that's with the old rules. All of a sudden, he's a returner back there, and all of a sudden he just blanks out, just forgets. Oh, it's a touchback, and he just forgets. And those guys are on you because they're only, they're right there. And if you forget for a second, they're going to get on it. And that was a heads up play.
Do you have a checklist every 3 months?
We don't go. I mean, what we do is, like, if something like that happens, we look at all the big plays, and we look at we'll look at that on Saturday night. It's all set up to look at, just to remind guys what could happen. That was a huge. I mean, that's a touchdown. I mean, that was a big deal.
Of course, I think it was a step toward progression, and one step a day. That's what I tell the guys: one step a day. We don't have to take huge strides. If we continue to take one step a day, and by the time we get in December, we can look back at this moment of adversity, and we can learn a lot from it, and we can continue to build from it. We're all in this together. We're all leaning on each other, pushing the best out of each other, and we're taking one step a day. Progress compounds, and we continue to take a step a day. We'll still get better, and we'll get this thing turned around soon, very soon.
Good morning, Kansas City. This is New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday, September 19th, 2025. Stephen St. John here with Jake. Something positive to take away from that game. Another really good pitching performance from Stephen Kolek, who was acquired from the San Diego Padres in that deal for Freddie Fermin. And he was really good yesterday. 7 in the third innings, only gave up 2 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts. So he's been nails with the Kansas City Royals. And that's something that I think you can be excited about in the offseason. That was his career best, 8 strikeouts against the Mariners. He's made 4 starts with the Royals, and all of them have been pretty damn good. In 4 starts with the Royals, he has a 1.67 ERA. And so hopefully he's showing the Royals that he's another good option for the rotation and gives them some flexibility if they do decide to trade a starting pitcher in a deal for some offense. Andy Rogers wrote an interesting article about Kolek at Royals.com, MLB.com. Batters have gone just 1 for 20 against Kolek's changeup with the Royals with a 29.7% whiff rate. Kolek said it's mostly been the quality of location, the shape of it, the action of it has always been pretty good, but figuring out how to get it more competitive and more presentable to hitters and just more strikes to them mainly. And it looks like he's doing that with the Royals. And so that's good. Also, he was charged with an unearned run in the 8th inning when second baseman Michael Massey was called for a shift violation. Did you see that? I've never seen that before because it's never happened.
Can't do those shifts no more. They're
Well,
legal.
his heels were on the grass, and that's basically what they called.
Just for having his heels on the grass.
Yeah, Canzone he grounded out, and it was an out, and then Seattle challenged it,
Wow.
and so he was awarded first base. And that run came around to score after J.P. Crawford hit a double off of Daniel Lynch. So, I don't know what to tell you about that. Even the broadcast crew, they were stunned by it. But you know what? Hell of a job by the Mariners,
Right,
of
knowing-
seeing it, challenging it, and getting the runner on. I mean, the Royals didn't score anyway, so 1-0 would have got the job done.
Right.
But it was a ground out to Massey. Threw over to first base for an out. Manager Dane Wilson of the Mariners asked the ump crew for a replay review on whether Massey had violated defensive shift limits and whether his heels were touching the grass when the ball was hit to him. And it turned out to be the case, and the play was overturned. Massey was given an error on a shift violation, and the hitter was rewarded first base, and that knocked Kolek out of the game. I don't know, something about that seems stupid, but
Yeah, pardon my ignorance, but like, once it's hit, what if his feet were in the dirt? Can he then back up into the grass? Like, you can't.
I think so. Sure. I
But
mean,
is when the ball was hit, his feet were in
Yeah.
the grass?
yes,
Okay.
sure.
All right.
Sounds great.
Yeah.
The rule stipulates, among other things, that 4 infielders must be within the boundary of the infield when the pitcher is on the rubber. If infielders are not aligned properly at the time of the pitch, the offense can choose an automatic ball or the result of the play. A team can only challenge a shift violation if a defender is the first person to make a play on the ball. So they were able to challenge it because he was the
first
guy
person-
that committed the violation, but he was also the first guy to
Right.
field the ball. Yeah. And the Mariners, their replay coordinator, Andy Bissell, was watching Massey closely. Again, credit them. That's knowing the rules, man. Whatever. I didn't know what the hell was going on. I guess the coordinator told the manager, hey, if a ball's hit to Massey, give me a call. We're going to challenge it probably. So there you go. He said, Abyssal said, it's something we look for all the time. It's usually the second baseman. It just depends on where the cameras are pointing, and I kind of saw it earlier in the game. So they have been waiting for it.
So it wasn't the first time he did it, obviously.
But in that situation, then the ball was hit to him.
Right.
And so,
As soon as they hit it to him, he's doing this.
and the Royals are irritated by it, but tip your cap.
Wow.
It's, it's stupid. And again,
It's wild. That's where baseball is now.
and here I go again with this, but the game really, the game matters to the Mariners.
Yeah.
The game matters to the Mariners big
Huge.
time.
Right.
The Royals, I'm sure, are playing for pride and individual achievement. They want to win games and finish above 500, but hard to get too pissed off about that. Now, just imagine if that would have been like
Right.
a meaningful
They're a
game,
game
and
out
they're
of-
still.
Game out of the
I'd
wild.
lost my mind, but that's it. Royals lost. Now they go to the Blue Jays, and Godspeed. Hope everyone has fun. Get out there and play some good baseball. All right? And who? Let me see. Vinny Pasquantino and Michael Garcia put up big numbers for the Bada Bings. My AL only.
get it
Battling for a
done.
championship. All right?
Get it done.
Yeah, get it done.
Come on, guys.
Vinny P and Michael, they know. They get it. They understand. But this is all about football, buddy.
Yep.
This is all about football. Number one, first and foremost, Chiefs need a win.
Are you ready for some football?
I'm ready for some winning football. We can sit here and talk about, you can tell Jesse Newell's irritated talking about the run game. I feels like maybe Matt Nagy is irritated talking about the run game. I don't care if they throw the ball 60 times on Sunday. Just win the game. They just have to figure out how to win a football game. I don't care if it's against the New York Giants, the San Francisco Giants. I don't care who they're playing. Just win a game and get all the negativity to calm down, and then turn your attention to the Baltimore Ravens. But you just got to win a game, man. And it's crazy saying that about the Chiefs because we're so used to them winning all the games they're supposed to and basically winning damn near every game, right? And so now we're just asking them to win a game. And I think they'll do that on Sunday night. They're better than the Giants. I still think they're better than the Chargers, but the Chargers are a playoff quality team. And there's no shame in losing a close game to them. I can't sit here with a straight face and tell you they're better than the Eagles because the Eagles have shown head-to-head that they're better than the Chiefs, at least right now. At the end of last season and at the beginning of this season. So if I sat here and told you, you already know I'm a homer, when it comes to the Chiefs. But if I sat here and told you, no, the Chiefs are better than the Eagles, that would sound ridiculous. And so the Eagles at last year and at this point right now are a better team. And they beat the Chiefs. Now the Chiefs, they had opportunities to win that first game. They had opportunities to win the game against the Eagles, but they didn't. And so you're 0-2. But again, very, very, very I know the NFL can be predictable. Just look at last night and how the Bills had to fight off a very game Miami Dolphins. As Jake all show long yesterday proclaimed he was going to take the Dolphins, and I questioned him. I think, really? Feels like Buffalo's going to beat the hell out of them.
Yeah.
But Jake was enamored with the 12.5 points he'd get by taking the Dolphins, and then he let Gary Dieter and Anthony Sherman talk him out of it.
And Jesse Newell.
And by the end of the show,
I put my money on the Bills.
I was shocked. He said he was going to take the Bills. And at the end of the show, I even said, "You dirty dog."
You folded.
Yeah, I said, this whole time you've been talking about taking the Dolphins, and now you let these other people influence you, and you took the Bills. And so we were watching the end of the game before we watched the latest episode of Terminal List Dark Wolf. But let me tell you
I
something.
got halfway through it.
That episode, this
got
latest
halfway.
episode.
I didn't see the end. I got 30 minutes in. I'm like, I gotta go.
Okay,
to
look
bed.
at me.
I gotta go to bed.
You looking?
I'm looking.
Text me.
Don't ruin it.
I'm not just. I just want to talk to you about handcuffing yourself to a briefcase,
Okay.
and if you'd ever do that.
All right.
All right.
Okay.
Because Susan proclaimed she's never going to do that. And I told Susan, I said, it would be very odd if you ever had to handcuff yourself to a briefcase.
But you never know.
But no, we know now. After the latest episode of Terminal List Dark Wolf, she's let me know that she will not do that ever.
Not ever. Not once.
No.
Not ever.
So
I will.
if
Once I get to that.
once
It'll be an
you can
afternoon
get
delight.
once you can, well, I don't know if that's quite the phrase I'd use, but so we were watching the end of that game, and I said, Buffalo's gonna win, but we got to watch this because this has something to do with Jake and the show. She goes, well, explain to me, because I want to know. I go, well, here's the deal, and so then she was rooting for Buffalo to win, so you'd win money, because she didn't want you to lose money, and then at the end when Buffalo had the ball. She said, well, they could just score a touchdown here. I go, I said, they're not going to.
Right.
They're not going to. They're not going to be as aggressive. They're going to be, just, but I don't understand. They can score a touchdown if they wanted to, and then he'd win. I go, yeah.
They're not going. They don't want to.
Yeah, they don't want that. They don't want to take any
More about the
chances.
clock.
Just, they want to run the clock. It's just, well, that's stupid. I said,
Yes.
So Jake
I
probably
agree.
agrees with you right
I agree very much so.
now. He probably
Susan.
is
It's real stupid.
agreeing with you very much right now.
100%.
She said, I'm glad I don't gamble. I said, yeah, me too. See how frustrating this is? She goes, so they had to win by over 12.5? I said, yeah, 13.
Yeah, 13
Yeah.
points. Yeah.
And then after they kicked, she goes, well, there's 3 more. I said, we're running out of time here. She says, not going to happen. She says, he doesn't get anything? I said, no.
Nope.
She was a little close. I said,
Gets to
yeah.
live with regret.
Yeah.
That's what he
Yeah.
gets.
You know what he gets? He gets a good talking to in the opening segment tomorrow.
Yep.
So that's what he gets.
He gets some regret.
So, but
Live and learn. Live and learn.
But look,
Just
if the
trust
Dolphins,
myself.
hey, if the Dolphins weren't so stupid as a team, maybe they could have won that game. I saw when they got us, made a good play down around the goal line.
Yep.
A stupid roughing the quarterback when they got a stop when it was tied at 21 apiece, and the crowd had just. The life had gone out of the crowd. Like, oh no, we're in the fourth quarter. We just got stopped again, and we get to punt back to Miami. This tie game. Oh no, let me try to block the punt and dive into the punter.
Usually works out well.
Stupid.
Right.
So then Buffalo gets the ball back after being stopped, and they score the go-ahead touchdown.
They still had a chance.
And then Tua drives down,
Yeah.
and let me throw it right to the linebacker.
What a horrible interception.
Yeah.
Horrible interception.
And so they multiple mistakes that prevented them from winning the game. But again, my original point: the NFL is very unpredictable right now,
It's fickle.
and we did not know, or Jake kind of knew, but
Yeah.
then
Didn't
gave up
trust
on the
myself.
idea that the Dolphins were going to be competitive with the Bills. On paper, it didn't seem that way, and they were. All right, so anything can happen.
Hey,
Anything can happen.
take away from that game, Tyreek Hill. Come on.
You'd like to take Tyreek Hill away from that game,
on.
away from that team.
Bring him back.
Okay.
Bring him back for Kelsey's his tour, his retirement tour.
So yes, so on paper, it looks like the Chiefs should be able, even though they're 0-2, to go to New York and beat the Giants because they're a better football team. And like I said, losing to the Chargers and the Eagles, there's no shame in that because very likely those are 2 playoff teams. The Giants are not a playoff team. The Giants have some very talented football players, especially on the defensive line. And Malik Neighbors is a stud. And Russell Wilson can have his moments. He threw for 450 last week. But they're not good, and the Chiefs should beat them. But the Chiefs are 0-2, and the Chiefs have had their problems, and so you can't take anything for granted. And so that's why I tell you, I don't care if they win by 1, 3, 7, 10, anything. It doesn't matter. They just got to win a football game and change the mood and the vibes around this football team.
We kind of want them to win by 6.
I'm staying away from that. I'm not getting into that. You should learn your lesson from that. I just need a Chiefs win. And then after that, then we can talk about, oh boy, look how good the Ravens are. And I'm somewhat shocked that so many people this week have talked to, well, you know they're not going to beat the Ravens. I don't know that. I don't know that. Could they beat the Ravens? Absolutely. The game is at Arrowhead, and they could beat the Ravens. But I don't want to talk about that right now because they got to beat the Giants. Lock in and beat the Giants. Just like I don't want to hear how much Mizzou's favored by South Carolina over. I don't want to hear that. You know why? Because I've seen some heartbreaking, gut-wrenching losses by Missouri to South Carolina. And last year
was
but
brutal.
The worst one was the double overtime.
Yeah.
Gary Pinkel, Steve Spurrier. I was there with my entire family.
Right.
I've seen it. Okay? I'm not taking nothing for granted. I don't care. I don't care what Vanderbilt did to South Carolina. It doesn't work that way. Just win the game. And guess what? You don't care if Kansas covers. Maybe you do. I shouldn't say that. But you just want you'd like to start the conference season 1-0, wouldn't you?
Absolutely.
You care how it happens? No.
Not even a little
Well,
bit.
maybe you might at some point, but in the grand scheme of things, you shouldn't. Just win. Just win.
Baby.
Win, 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 win. We'll take a break. Back after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
What's the matter with you?
Tomorrow. Let's do it tomorrow.
There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow. There is no tomorrow.
You are listening to A New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB.
Stephen St. John here from my friends at Diamonds Direct. You can go see Angie, the GM, David, the store manager, or my good friend Tom at Diamonds Direct, located off 119th and Row. And if you've been thinking about going to Diamonds Direct, stop thinking and start going, because this month at Diamonds Direct, you can indulge in the jewelry you've always dreamed of with no interest until 2030. A rare opportunity to bring home extraordinary diamonds, wedding bands, and fashion jewelry with unmatched flexibility. But this exclusive financing event is available for a limited time only. So take advantage this month at Diamonds Direct. Elevate your moment, secure your legacy piece, and do it all with no interest until 2030. No interest until 2030 at Diamonds Direct, located off 119th and Row. And when you stop by Diamonds Direct, please tell them that Stephen St. John sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. It's Friday. How about that? September 19th, 2025. Stephen St. John here in studio, now joined by Stan Weber. Stan, good morning. How about that moon outside, huh, Stan?
That's crazy. Can you still see it out there? People need to run outside and take a look. It looked great a half hour ago. I know that.
I took a picture of it before.
It's like
the
it's
show
some
started.
artist designed the view. The sliver of the moon with
The planet Venus.
Venus right next door, perfectly like they're attached to each other.
Are not very good, but I was trying to.
Yeah,
Use
it's
that
really
documentary.
a nice look.
It's called a triple conjunction is happening. The moon and the brilliant planet Venus and the bright star Regulus will be clustered together in the east-northeast sky right before sunrise.
It's fantastic.
Venus is the brightest star.
I didn't see a second one, but I was driving, so I couldn't look too closely.
Regulus is the brightest star in the constellation Leo, but out of the it's a triple conjunction right now. The moon, Venus, and Regulus.
It just looked like a design you'd put on a helmet or a flag or something like that. It was really well done. The symmetry of where they are together, and
And the crescent moon, just this little sliver at the bottom. It's cool.
really worth looking at if you get a chance. I don't know how many minutes are left that you can.
No, it was beautiful. I saw that when I was driving into work today. Not as beautiful as if the Chiefs would get a win. And, Jake, we saw this. We heard someone say this, and I know that you gave me a funny look. Then I just saw Mitch Holtis posted this as well. The Giants are the only team the Chiefs have never beaten on the road. Isn't that crazy?
They don't play that often, but it is unusual.
I'm trying to remember, like, when the last time they played the Giants on the road. I went to the game when the Chiefs played at the Jets when the Jets had Brett Favre. Remember that season?
Oh, yes, I do.
And so I've never. I'm trying to think. And I've seen the Chiefs beat the Giants here in Kansas City. Yeah, I don't have any great recollections of Chiefs playing at Giants.
17, maybe?
Yep, 17 was the last time they played there.
Overtime.
I remember nothing about that game.
Eli Manning was the quarterback, a 12-9 game.
Ugh.
Eli Manning type of game where he didn't look good all game long, but he made winning plays, and they win in overtime.
Okay, and so was that part of a losing streak that the Chiefs were on?
2017.
I remember, I don't know if it was 05, maybe one year the Giants just ran all over the Chiefs.
Okay, so that game I do remember. I was ring announcing in Jefferson City, and the Chiefs. It was remember because we did a parody song.
Yeah, I remember that putting that together.
Because
that's why I remember that.
they ran for an ungodly amount of yards.
Ahmad Bradshaw, maybe.
And that pretty much knocked the Chiefs out of the playoffs. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I remember putting that together.
Oh, that's a bad memory. That was a
Yeah.
bad game.
Oh, yeah. Might have been 05. Would that have been right? That's the
I'm
last.
trying to think.
Wasn't that 17?
The Chiefs are 0-7 at the New York Giants.
Yeah, they in 2017, that was part of a 4-game losing streak. They lost to the Cowboys 28-17, then they lost at the Giants 12-9.
Overtime.
Then they lost to the Bills 16-10, and then they lost at the Jets 38-31. And that's when they finished the season with 4 straight wins to beat the Raiders, the Chargers, the Dolphins, and the Broncos. And then that's when they went to the playoffs and lost to the Tennessee Titans. And that's when they decided that Alex Smith had reached his peak, and that was enough. And it was time to go to Patrick Mahomes. And that's because I remember during that losing streak, that was the first time I started asking for Patrick Mahomes. Like, okay.
You cagged him?
Let's go. Yeah. You know. They'd have won that playoff game from Mahomes as the quarterback, but I digress.
He was on the roster that year.
Yeah.
Played in a Denver game twice.
The 2005 game, Chiefs lost 27-17. That Tiki Barber had 220 yards on the ground.
Oh, that's good.
29 carries and 2 touchdowns.
Yeah. Enough bad memories about the Chiefs and Giants. That's not going to happen on Sunday night. The Chiefs are going to win. Aren't they, Stan?
Yes.
Right.
Okay. You saw these Giants get into a shootout with the Dallas Cowboys?
Yes.
What a game.
What were you thinking when Russell Wilson threw that bomb to Malik Neighbors that appeared to give them the win?
Just how bad the Cowboys are.
Did you cuss?
No, I don't cuss.
But if you would if there was something that was going to make you cuss, maybe that would.
Oh, yes. Yeah, if that were in my
you were mad.
If it were in my range of communication, I would have, yes.
You were mentally cussing.
But like when you saw that, you were like, "Are you kidding me?" or something. I mean, you were mad or something. Because I'm just. I mean, honestly,
unfortunately, not surprised, but just couldn't believe it.
Whenever I see teams, and I always think, because we were up in the press box and Lebo and I were watching that, and we both said, "Oh my God, what do you think Stan just did?" Like I told, like I don't even want to think about it because it was just like because we were all
because the Cowboys just won the game. Right. There was no time when he threw this pass. There was no time on the clock. There was
we were all like
40 seconds, 35 seconds.
People were yelling in the press box. That was fun because the witching hour on Red Zone was happening right there and all the media was up there and we're trying to watch all these games end at the same time, and then everyone's like, look at Dallas and the Giants. We're watching. And then how far was the kick that Aubrey hit? Was
64 yards.
And then we all yell at that like, oh my,
That's the response to the touchdown because the Cowboys scored a touchdown into red zone, right in the front of the end zone, barely. And you go, okay, Cowboys are going to win. They scored last, and so it's over. And then the Giants throw a bomb into double coverage and easy catch, touchdown. You go, oh. The Giants win, and Neighbors was putting his hands on the side of his face like go to sleep if he was Steph Curry. And then I said it was over. I said I did not say it was over. Then I go, oh, wait a second. Because he could hit a 70-yarder. Seriously.
Yeah, Lebo said that, no, it's not over. So, but when he lined up with the 64-yarder, did you think he was going to make it?
Yes, and that's what I felt so bad.
That's crazy.
Both my son Landry, who's a big Cowboys fan, and we talked about it later, and it was ridiculous that we were sitting there going, oh, yeah, he'll make this. You almost jinx yourself. You go, no, respect the fact that this is a pressure 64-yard field goal. But the confidence you have in this guy, distance is not the problem, and accuracy is usually not a problem. And so he just blasted it through like no big deal.
Yeah,
they're settling. Like, okay, we're close enough now. The running back got the ball and he ran 1 yard and dove to the ground. Like, if they see that star in the middle of the field, they think they're close enough for a field goal. It's crazy.
Dave Tobe talked about that yesterday. Was talking about how Butker used to have the strongest leg in the league, and he said now that's not the case, and it's totally different about where guys can hit field goals from. Like, for instance, Jake. Your man Philip St. John insisted that we acquire Cam Little as our fantasy kicker because he's the guy that kicked the 70-yard field goal in a preseason game. But it's like now you're right. Like field goal distances that when I was younger, no way.
No way.
If somebody, you'd freak out if somebody kicked a 58-yarder. Now it's just boom, 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 which goes into that game against the Eagles. People were mad that Butker missed a 58-yarder, and I'm thinking, I mean, it was a 58. Oh no, he should have made that. It was a 58-yarder.
58.
I mean, that's not
just a little off and you miss. Yeah.
Right. And so it's totally different the way we look at that.
But Dallas hit 64 after having a 51-yarder earlier and a 46-yarder to win the game, and that was like an extra point or something from 46 yards. This is easy.
Well, he drilled that 64-yarder.
But if you just watch that game, as a general fan, if it were a Sunday Night Football game, it was as good as the NFL gets because they played all 10 minutes of the overtime.
It was wild.
And they each got the ball 2 times and failed in overtime, which now we're so used to these guys bombing field goals, you don't get very much. They each had the ball twice, and when you went on defense, if you're the Giants or the Cowboys, you're like, it's over. It's over. These guys are going to hit a field goal, and they failed, and then they failed, and they failed, and they failed. And finally, Dallas, who got the ball first, and therefore the fifth possession was theirs. They got one extra possession. Everyone says you got to defer, right? Hey, you got to defer in overtime nowadays. Well, the Cowboys ended up with the football, and because they got it the fifth time, third time for them, they went down and kicked the field goal, won the game as the time ran out in overtime. So it ran deep into the Chiefs game. That's the only bad thing about it.
So watching that game, what should Chiefs fans and the Chiefs be concerned about in this matchup against the Giants?
The Giants' front wall defense, their defense is very solid, especially the pass rush component. The thickness of the guys up front is really good. And if they can smell blood, if they know it's a passing down, if it's 3rd and 8, they can cause havoc. So they're legit, big and strong. Overall, the defense isn't bad. It's not great, but it's not bad. It's not as bad as the Giants are. What, the 30th best team in the NFL right now? If you had to rank them, somewhere right in there. You might give them the 29th or something. I think Dallas beat them out. I think Dallas is the 29th best team, and the Giants are the 30th best team in the NFL. So their defense plays better than that, especially with the guys who can rush the passer, and that could cause the Chiefs problems. That's the number one thing that I'd be concerned about. Neighbors is an athletic guy. Wilson is a good deep ball thrower. If he learns something in this game, if he looks downfield and believes something good can happen, that would open up a level of excellence, because pass interference is called way too much in pro football. So if he just throws the ball up, you're going to have to hold your breath, because the best you're going to get is a one-on-one situation downfield, or maybe a safety coming over late, and it becomes a jump ball with a great passer, good receiver, and you might even get called for pass interference. But I want to answer your question first. You said, what should they be concerned about? I finished that.
So do you think what percent chance do you give the Giants of pulling the upset?
Well, it's the NFL.
Yeah.
So let's start with the generic game. Okay, just in the NFL, wouldn't you say 60-40 is about a good starting point where a better team should beat another team? Maybe 55-45 if you're talking middle of the road. But I think you start at 60-40, and then you say the Chiefs are lacking in confidence, have no momentum, so it's not going to be easy for them. So I wouldn't be moving away from that 60% winning chance on that. It's at New York. It is a game where they're excited. They're 0-2. It's their first home game, and it's on national TV, and they're playing the mighty Chiefs. I think the Giants are going to bring a great effort, so that scares you a little bit as well. But I think the Giants are not very good, and the Chiefs will beat them, so I'm going to say 65% chance the Chiefs win.
We have Stan Weber in studio. We'll talk more football after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Stephen St. John here for Custom Lawn and Landscape. And Custom Lawn, they have done lots of great work at my house. We love the job that they've done for us. And I'm reminding you that this is the time you should contact Custom Lawn and Landscape, because you could do a lot in the fall to help your lawn more than any other time of year, really. Late summer and early fall, that's the best time to seed your lawn. There's a lot of confusion out there over whether you should power rake, verticut, aerate, seed, what type of seed to use, all kinds of different questions, and Custom Lawn has the answers. Their lawn renovation packages include 3 follow-up visits throughout the fall to make sure your investment is working the way it should. So make the call today to Custom Lawn and Landscape. Let Custom Lawn take all the guesswork out of your fall lawn renovation work. You can check them out online at customlawn.com or give them a call at 913-782-8315. Customlawn.com or 913-782-8315. And please tell them Stephen St. John sent you. Welcome back to New Day with SSJ on Sports Radio 810 WHB. We've got Stan Weber in studio. So, Stan, when you watch the Chiefs, I know there's other issues with the team, but a lot of talk has been about the running game or lack of running game. I think most people are concerned that Mahomes is having to do too much, and when he is, outgained the Hunt and Pacheco combined, that's hey, look, Mahomes is great, he's a playmaker, but you don't want him to have to do that much, and you'd like to get some more help from the running backs, especially considering the wide receiving room has not been at full strength, and it would be nice to lean on that a little bit more, but they haven't been able to. Now, number one, they haven't really invested in the run game in either game, and number two, it hasn't been effective. And so, when you look at the Chiefs' run game, is it the running backs? Is it the line? Is it the play calling? Is it a mixture of all these things? What's the problem with the run game in your opinion?
Well, I do think it's a mixture. Nowhere in the Chiefs' DNA are they emphasizing the running game under Andy Reid. Andy Reid was ahead of the curve 20 years ago when he was a head coach, throwing the ball more than everyone else was throwing the football. So that's what they're going to win with, and that's what you win with in the NFL is throwing the football. And so that's what they're good at. And then the offensive lineman, think about Simmons learning to be an NFL offensive lineman at left tackle. That is a big ask, okay? What do you think he needs to emphasize? Do you think he needs to spend extra time just before he goes to bed at night thinking through things and talking about his steps in the run game, or do you think he's worried about the pass rush and protecting Patrick Mahomes? I propose to you that it's all about the passing game. Don't let Mahomes get hit. Don't let plays get blown up. I've said sacks equal punts. There are not that many punts in football anymore, Stephen, with teams going for fourth down, kickers bombing field goals. Punts are really damaging to your team. Turnovers obviously the worst, but punts.
The Colts haven't punted yet this season.
So you say, I think sacks equal punts. You lose a down and yardage, and then everyone's freaking out because if you give up a sack, you as an offensive lineman are so mad at yourself, you're distracted, you're worried about it happening again. The other side smells blood in the water. If they get to the quarterback, suddenly everyone who breaks the huddle is like, I think we can get there. And so it becomes even more of an issue. And then the quarterback loses a little bit of confidence, gets hit, gets hurried, all those things. Sacks are such a big deal. So I think all of the offensive linemen's mentality is how do we be great in the passing game. Then you say, well, we practice these plays and we need to work in a running game. Well, go ask Tim Grunhard what it was like to practice on Wednesdays in the NFL back when he played, and they worked on the running game. They got their pads on and hit and got used to the physicality midweek, got beat up, yes, but that doesn't happen now in the NFL. No one's really hitting. So when do you get to practice the running game, Stephen? Only in game situations.
Right.
So now it's all on the line, and the opponents are not scared of the Chiefs running backs at all. They're not. And that level of confidence gives them another ability to play more against the pass, not worry about the run. Pacheco, is a physical back, but he doesn't have much side-to-side movement, right? Kareem Hunt is giving us a great effort. It's great to have him on the team. He does some good work, but does he scare anybody? He's going to be good for his 3 yards, maybe 5, but those plays do not hurt opponents. Every time the Chiefs run, it's a throwaway down. Everyone wants them to run the ball more to create balance, but really it's a throwaway play. When you see him hand off, what do you think when you're sitting there and watching a game?
Well, right now I think that not much.
Yeah, it's a wasted down. Like, okay, we gained 3. And the opponent's like, great, thank you. Keep the ball out of Mahomes' hands. So the running game's weak for all those reasons. Andy Reid has not entered the 2025 season with an offensive strategy that is ahead of the defenses like it seemed like he used to year after year after year after year. I don't remember it happening last year either. Do you? I mean, there were times when Andy would draw up plays and it would be core NFL football 3 weeks later. Everyone would learn, hey, that's a cool play, let's run it. I have not seen that the last couple of years. So I don't think that they're scheming things up in the running game or the passing game that make the defense look silly. Am I missing anything? Week 1 and 2? That used to be a core thing I thought about Andy Reid getting ready for the season. So the offensive play calling or the design is okay, same as everybody else in the NFL, I would say. The emphasis on the running game is never there with the Kansas City Chiefs, not in their deep DNA. They don't believe in that. And it's not really anything that's dangerous to the opponent. So all those things really put you in a bind because everyone says, well, let's run the ball a little bit more so Patrick doesn't have as much pressure on him or he can play action pass. It's not going to work. The defense is thinking about one thing when the ball snapped, the pass. Slowing the Chiefs' pass down, and they want Patrick Mahomes to feel like his feet are on fire, like he's got to be moving, be worried about your offensive line, don't trust your receivers, get rid of the football. Who's throwing the football the quickest in the NFL right now after the early season? Patrick Mahomes. He's not holding the ball at all, which is also becoming a distraction because his passing performance is not up to par right now. Is that fair? I mean, he missed Noah Gray early. He missed that was a great touch. If he didn't throw that great touchdown pass of 49 yards, you'd look around. You know what happens, Stephen? You get in your mind, when you start becoming a dual threat running quarterback, it's hard to not start thinking about the run too early. Didn't even mention that in his comments. He said, maybe I should have stayed in the pocket. Some of those good runs could have been good passes if I stay. He's conflicted right now. Like, should I go or should I stay? That's not a good mentality for him to have. It's hard.
We have Stan Weber in studio. We'll talk more football. We'll talk about college football, Mizzou, KU, K-State, continue our Chiefs discussion. All that and more after this on Sports Radio 810 WHB. Hey, Kansas City, Stephen St. John here for QC Kinetics. That nagging joint pain, you know the one. Sometimes it's from years of hard work. Sometimes it's an old injury that never healed right. Either way, it's been calling the shots in your life for too long, but that stops right now. QC Kinetics is here to flip the script. They use regenerative medicine, advanced cellular treatments that help your body heal and restore the damage in your joints. Not cover it up, not cut it out, actually help healing and restore. And the results, long-term lasting relief. So instead of planning your day around pain, you're planning it around life and doing the things that you love and being more active. QC Kinetics, no surgery, no drugs, no long recovery, just a smarter, natural way to get your freedom back. Bring your MRI, bring your x-rays. They will make sure you're a good candidate. And your first consultation's free, so there's no reason to wait. And appointments are available on Saturday. Call QC Kinetics, 816-412-6299. That's 816-412-6299. Located off 435 and State Line, and the location that me and my wife go to in Gladstone. 816-412-6299. QC Kinetics.